G'day everyone, we're Krista and Tony, a couple of Australians that have taken a year off to travel the world. Starting our travels in America, we've rented a van for 60 days as we head along the west coast up to Canada. In this video, we explore one of the most scenic drives in all of Canada, Icefields Parkway. This 190-mile drive between Banff and Jasper passes some of the bluest lakes you'll ever see, coupled with beautiful glaciers and mesmerising mountain views. Be warned though, this is the Rockies and the weather is super variable, so check it regularly and plan for all seasons. We did this trip at the end of June, which is the start of their summer, and we still got caught in the rain and some snow on the drive up to Jasper from Banff. Lucky for us, the weather on the drive back to Banff was perfect, which you'll see later in this video. We have arrived at Whistler Campground. This place is actually pretty nice. It was $58 for 2 nights and really just for a piece of grass, but we get to use these hot showers. This is a fancier shower than what I have at home.
You don't have a home.
So after checking out the campground, we headed into town, getting caught in some peak hour traffic. So with a side of laundry, we headed in to get some beaver tails, which are a Canadian treat made of doughy pastry, topped with things like Nutella, cinnamon, or even maple bacon. Despite the name, most of the options are vegetarian, and it's a must try when you're here in Canada. After fueling up on pastry, we headed south to check out Maligne Lake. It had snowed overnight, making the roads a little bit slippery, but it was worth it for the breathtaking views with all that beautiful white snow. But I had to watch out for more than just the snowy roads, as there was a constant risk of stray snowballs.
Don't even think about it.
Once we arrived at the lake, we were keen to substitute dessert for another main meal by heading to the Waffle Hut for some delicious waffles and coffee, while we watched the snow melt around us. Maligne Lake was absolutely stunning. This lake was once actually part of a large valley that was naturally dammed by a large rock slide, resulting in the largest natural lake in all of the Canadian Rockies, at 13.6 miles long and as deep as 318 feet. That's pretty deep. What can you see?
Love you so much, Mr. Cat. Oh my god, I love him. I love him.
Maybe it's his car. Maybe
Oh
he's
my
just
God,
parking.
I think he's on a holiday.
Holiday cat.
Next stop was Maligne Canyon, which is a geological marvel. So we're at Maligne, I think it's Maligne Canyon, and that was the second bridge we just walked over, and we're heading to the first bridge.
Pretty sure it's called Maligne. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Maligne Gorge has been carved out by the Maligne River, creating a deep and narrow gorge that's up to 164 feet deep. The canyon walls are composed of layered limestone rock, which was once an ancient seafloor over 350 million years ago. So to get over our fear of heights, we had some proper lunch in the van, overlooking more amazing mountain views, with our next stop being the beautiful blue Edith Lake. This lake is pretty epic, but it's surrounded by all these private houses, so it's hard to get a park and hard to have a look. And I'm pretty sure I'm walking through someone's backyard right now. But nonetheless, beautiful lake. Look, they've all got their own private patios. It's amazing. As this lake is so shallow, it's probably the warmest lake in Jasper to swim in, even though it's still pretty glacially cold. This is our final night in Jasper, and we've just pulled up to Patricia Lake for a couple of drinks before we get ready for dinner.
How crazy is that? 11:15 at night, and the sun's only just setting.
Alright, we are now driving along Icefields Parkway from Jasper back to Lake Louise, Banff area. But it's a Saturday and it's sunny, so everyone's out and about. We're stuck behind a camper van already, so it's gonna be a bit slow. And like 5,000 bikes. Look at all these bikes.
Oh my god, look at all these bikes.
Where are we stopping?
Wait 1,000 days. You never wait for me. You never wait for me. Even when I ran away, you're all that I could see.
30 minutes south of Jasper, we then stopped at Athabasca Falls. This is one of the most powerful waterfalls in the Canadian Rockies. Having a super high flow rate with a drop of around 78 feet, this much water falling from such a height was pretty intimidating. It was so loud, Krista couldn't even hear me complaining about how drenched I was. here we have another incredible road pull-out. Look at this.
What a crazy man. Taking on this red balloon.
Oh man, really? Swimming in this? It's bold. So we just pulled off on the side of the road. You can pull off like every 5-10 minutes along this road. It's incredible. And we've just pulled off to this little amazing spot. Oh, look at this.
You never wait for me, even when I ran away.
Icefields Parkway was first constructed back in 1931, making the famous mountain pass accessible to everyone. It took 600 men and nearly 10 years to complete the 190-mile project. Construction of Icefields Parkway was first started in 1930, making the famous mountain pass accessible via a winding dirt and gravel road. It took 600 men and nearly 10 years to complete the 190-mile project, with only one tractor per crew, and most of the work was completed by hand with teams of horses. This road was then upgraded and realigned and paved in 1962, opening up the Great Divide to even more visitors. We've just pulled over and we are at
Stutfield Glacier.
Stutfield Glacier, that's right. Let's have a look. Stutfield Glacier.
Not Stutterfield, Stutfield.
Enhance. It's times 10 zoom on the S22. It's actually not too bad. Wow, looks like there's a bit of an ice fall there. One place worth visiting is Columbia Icefields Skywalk. Admission to the Skywalk is about $32 Canadian, where you walk along a cliff-edge, glass-floored observation platform sitting 918 feet above the Sunwapta Valley. If you have a fear of heights though, or short on time like we were, give it a miss. Mission accomplished, got a park. Now we've got to climb this thing. And how cold is it?
It's pretty good, yeah.
It's pretty cold. This marker is where the glacier was back in 1992. Sadly, due to global warming, it's retreated all the way back up the valley. You see all these scratch marks where the glacier would just crash and scratch its way down this rock face when it was here. See all those big scratch marks? And that's it. It's as close as you can get to the glacier. Well, you can walk on it, but apparently you can't, unless you pay for the expensive tour. And they four-wheel drive you up there. For around $90 per person, you can get a tour that combines the Skywalk and the Glacier Explorer, where you'll board a giant Ice Explorer vehicle to travel right onto the Athabasca Glacier, where you can get out and walk around. You can even stop to fill up your water bottle with fresh glacial water. So apparently this glacier used to be up along the top of that ridge, and it's just carved out this entire bowl. And now it's gone.
Did you go on holiday?
Glaciers form when snow settles in basins or hollows on a mountainside, then compacts to thick, heavy ice over time. As this ice gets heavier, it starts to melt at the base due to the intense pressure. As a result, the whole glacier starts to move down the mountainside, carving into the valley as it slides along. Next stop along this incredible drive was the Big Bend Lookout. This hairpin selection of highway has it all. Mountains, valleys, waterfalls, and sheer drops over the side. Be careful though, the views are so epic you might just forget to keep your eyes on the road and miss a turn. So take it easy when driving past. Further south along the valley, you have another incredible lookout below at the Weeping Wall. This huge rock face has multiple streams of running water. So here we are at the Weeping Wall, a series of waterfalls up there, and this amazing stream. Then turn 180 degrees and you have this amazing view of the Athabasca River. This is the same river we saw at Athabasca Falls, which was 58 miles away. Pretty amazing. The water is absolutely freezing though. The Athabasca River is approximately 765 miles long, making it one of the longest rivers in Alberta and British Columbia.
1,000 days, you never wait for me. You never
Oh my god, there's a loop.
Hello, Mr. Bear.
You're all that I could see. You're all that I could see when I could hardly walk on my own. I had to lift myself out of the trench below.
The effects of fire on that forest is crazy.
Suffered enough to let you go. You're all that I had to go. You're all that
So we just pulled over at Waterfowl Lakes to have a little bit of lunch, and we have this incredible view. The next stop you can't miss is Peyto Lake, where just a short walk from the car park gets you to one of the best views in all of Canada. And the picture-perfect blue water of Peyto Lake didn't seem real. This beautiful lake gets its blue colour due to all the reflective particles of rock flour suspended in the water. Like I mentioned in our last video with Lake Louise, this rock flour is created by glaciers that grind the surrounding mountains as they slide down the valley. The rock flour particles are so small that they are suspended in the water, and when sunlight hits the lake, it's reflected off the particles, giving the lake that distinctive blue colour. Peyto Lake was named after the explorer and mountaineer Bill Peyto, who was famous for his climbing exploits and his contributions to the preservation and popularization of the Canadian Rockies. He was renowned for being the first to climb many of its peaks, saving other climbers' lives, and even fostering a couple of wild cubs to adulthood. A quick 5-minute drive away is the beautiful Bow Lake. This lake gets its blue colour thanks to the Bow Glacier above, providing meltwater and small particles of rock flour.
How pretty is this?
There are a few car parks that you can stop at along the lake that all link up with very relaxed lakeside hikes. Its tempting blue waters may look great for swimming, but you won't want to for very long as the average temperature of the lake rarely gets above 41 degrees Fahrenheit. And this is the other side of Bow Lake where you can park on the edge of the lake. It's pretty amazing. Sitting in the van with this view out the back door was one of the most unreal experiences ever, with giant towering mountains overlooking this sky blue lake. We had never seen anything like it. We actually stopped off at Bow Lake on the drive up to Jasper when the temperatures were still really cold and there was a small bit of ice remaining in the lake. So after having an appy, which is short for appetizer as the Canadians say, we jumped back in the van and headed towards the town of Golden, starting our long journey back down to San Diego to return the van. Icefields Parkway is our favourite drive in Canada, and if we were to do it again, we would spend more than just one day enjoying it, and stay at a few of the campsites along the beautiful stretch of road. Well, thanks for watching this episode, everyone, and if you enjoyed this video, it really helps our channel if you give us a follow and a like. We'll see you in the next one. Do not fall in! Oh my goodness!
Next.
Another amazing Canadian lookout.
Next.
Alright, let's go. Keep moving. Get to the car.
No, we have to do it again.
No, it's fine. That was funny.